folks, and welcome back. This is episode 14 by my count, and yeah, we have so this episode is slightly unscheduled because, as I mentioned in episode 13, we do have a decision to make. So, before I get to that, let me just update you on where we got to after our victory against Yokohama F. Marinos. We then proceeded to lose our game straight after, typically against Nagoya 1-0. And from memory, this was, it was a bit of a non-event. It wouldn't have been the most entertaining game to have watched for certain, with XGs from both teams under 1. And in fairness, uh, if anyone was going to win it, it should have probably been Nagoya, because they had a goal disallowed, rightfully for offside, and then the goal they scored, they looked at it because there was a possibility of it being off. But yeah, they won that. We then have played a couple of cup games, and we're now through to the League Cup quarterfinal, and are due to play Shimizu, but that is way off in September. We are currently towards the end of June. We also saw off FC Mashida 3-1, although that was, again from memory, not a foregone conclusion. They were threatening. It was 1-1 until we scored 2 quickfire goals right at the death before the 90 minutes were up. So that is all well and good. Where that leaves us in the table is we are currently 5th. We've all played, every team has played 23 games from the looks, and we're within striking distance of the top, but 5 points is worse than what it was when it could have been potentially 4 points, when Kobe had a game in hand and they were 1 point ahead of us. So yeah, not the best. In terms of job applications to move closer to Europe, we had gone for we'd been for Southampton, which I think I mentioned. We didn't get shortlisted for that. Livingston turned us down. Basically, everyone turned us down. Huddersfield, Reading all turned us down. We didn't get those jobs. But today's episode is very much going to centre around the fact that we have had a job offer from SK Slovan Bratislava, and the possibilities here are, in many respects, night and day. We are currently on a rather paltry 1.5k per week, and the board did offer us when this offer from Bratislava came in, we were offered a £2,000 contract per week to try and convince us to stay. I thought I could start with the contract and then move on to increasing the wage budget, because we are massively overspending on our wage budget. That's something which the board does not particularly like. It's very concerning, but this is the cost of doing business at the top end. So our contract offer from Slovan is considerably better. They're offering us £12,000 per week. I've not been to Japan, but I understand it's expensive to live there. I have been to Bratislava, and relative to the rest of Slovakia, it is expensive, but 12 grand a week, you can live very much like a king there. They are going to offer us a transfer budget of 5.25 million and a wage budget of £195,000. I don't know a great deal, despite my connection to Slovakia through my wife. I don't know a great deal about the football league there, apart from that Slovan Bratislava are expected to win the league year on year. They haven't this season just gone, because And again, this is something that I would have to explore. Um, but it seems like there is a split in the league um, after a certain point. So let's see if we can work this out together. So there is a championship group um, that kind of splits off from early March. They do have a break over Christmas, so there is a month, well, between mid December and early February, there is a break in the season, um, probably because it's insanely cold in Slovakia at that time of year. Um, but I'm not quite sure how the championship works out. Um, so there's a split, and maybe oh, okay. It will be the top six play each other, and the points just kind of keep going, I guess. But anyway, it looks like they've lost out on goal difference, essentially. Their goal difference was 3 goals poorer than uh, Dunajska Streda, um, who have, by virtue of that, I think, qualified, or they will go into the preliminary rounds for the Champions League, and Slovan Bratislava will be in the Conference League. So there is the prospect of some European football, um, healthier wage budget, expectation that we will win the league, not at the end of next season, but certainly the season after. And they've stayed fairly silent about Europe, but Slovan Bratislava don't typically qualify for the Champions League proper. They did this year for the first time in a long time, and they got absolutely annihilated. So the deal on the table looks better. European football gets me kind of closer to where I want to be, which is a top 5 league. And if I show you the leagues which are playable, I've specifically put in Slovakia in honor of my wife, Republic of Ireland. Basically, I just put in a bunch of leagues because I knew I wanted to start the save in Japan, and I didn't know necessarily where that would take me. So I've included the big five of England, Germany, Italy, France, if it can be called big, and Spain. But also, oh, I feel like I've done something there. But also Scotland, Ireland, Slovakia, um, and that is absolutely ruining my game speed. But hey ho, such is life. So yeah, um, but ultimately, it would be nice to get to England or Germany or Italy. I'm pretty open minded as to where. Um, Typically, a lot of my football manager saves revolve around England and bringing some team up from the National League, North or South, and then getting as far as I feel like I can with them before jumping ship. Certainly, that's what I did in FM22. And had a really successful career. So I'm not looking for a Pentagon challenge or anything like that. So I think because of the connection to Slovan, I've got a Slovan shirt actually that I was given for Christmas as a Christmas present, obviously. And because my wife's cousin's son is part of the Slovan youth setup, although he's very early days in that. I think I am going to take this job. What gives me pause for thought is, frankly, that this team, um, if if I show you again where we were. That was the year that we won. That was the year that we got knocked out in the playoffs first round. This was the year that we. I won't show you, will it? Ugh, how annoying. And this was the year that we were in the relegation, in the relegation zone, but we kind of pulled it back to finish lower mid-table. So we've been through a lot, and I am nothing if not loyal. I really, really like the idea of making YSCC Yokohama the best team in Japan. We haven't even got to the point in the season where the Asian Champions League has started. That will start towards the latter end of the year. I can't remember when exactly. Let's have a look and see if we can kind of roughly find out. If we look at Kobe and their schedule. So they started in September last year. So we're at the end of June, towards the end of June. So we've got that to look forward to. And whilst the boards want us to be competitive in the Champions League, they also want us to finish in the top half of J1. And I think that the way things are going, we are better than that. So there's this kind of idea that, well, we can see this season out and see what happens, later. But by that point, the European season has started. So you're looking at jobs where you're having to fix problems because things aren't going well, and a manager's been fired because the Japanese league ends at the end of December. So you're already potentially halfway through a season, which again isn't necessarily a problem. But the other thing to consider is that stats, team detailed. This is, so we are overspending on our salary, and we are still considerably spending, almost, well, over 10%, almost 20% we're overspending, and we still have the lowest salary. We have, does it show the capacity of stadiums? I feel like it does. Probably not. Okay. I mean, we're decidedly bottom half, towards the bottom in terms of average attendance. We're ground sharing in a stadium. We're ground sharing with Yokohama FC. It's we're doing better in terms of average attendance, 15,000. And I don't know what kind of money I'd need in the bank to be able to convince the board to build a new stadium, which could then, unlock some things. Also in terms of, so yeah, just to prove the point, yeah, so we on average have 1,000 more fans coming in than Yokohama FC, who are for the past 6 seasons have been a J1 league team, so they're established. The other thing to show is sponsorship. Where am I looking? Salary per annum. I can't remember where all these things are. I was looking at all this earlier and I cannot remember, which is really, really annoying. That's attacking, that's defending, That's attendance. That's finances. Yeah, not quite sure where it's gone. But anyway, in terms of sponsorship, we are getting 350k a year, and that is not going to change until the end of next year. So, and I'm pretty sure if I could find it that that is just it's like night and day compared to Kobe, say for example. But it's really annoying me that I can't find where that information is. Hmm. Okay. Uh. Yeah. Oh well. Never mind. Anyway. I feel like I've. So I feel like I've made a decision. And I'm taking. It's kind of like a head and heart over heart sort of approach to it because, on the one hand, I've never um, had a save in Slovakia before, so that would very much be a new experience. It gets me a bit closer to where I want to go, and thinking about the opportunity with this, there is this idea of can I make Slovan Bratislava a regular in the Champions League, whilst also um, ticking over in the Slovakian first division. So they're just winning that repeatedly, and as if to illustrate a point, competitions, yeah, they just generally win as a matter of course. So they haven't won it since 2027, but you can just kind of see that certainly in real life they have won it. They won it 5 years in a row, um, and yeah, that's just the way it kind of is. So big club, but the idea is to really get them to be more of an established European force, or then jump ship, do a good job, jump ship, and then see what happens. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to start negotiations, see what happens there. I don't think that there's anything here that I find absolutely abhorrent. They want to sign players under the age of 23 for the first team. That's no problem. That's what I pretty much do as a matter of course anyway. Develop players using the club's youth system. Well, okay. They're probably the best setup, one of the better setup clubs for that in Slovakia. Well, within the wage budget, well, that remains to be seen. That's just maximum contracts for older players, and then this is what they want going forward. So I think what I'm going to do is, rather than waste your time, um, I've explained my thinking, my rationale, and I will start negotiations, put a cut in, and when we come back, you will know, kind of what's happened, because I'll be assessing the squad, or I will be things will have fallen apart, negotiations will have broken down, and I'll still be with Yokohama. So we'll see, won't we? And here we go. So after not much in the way of negotiation, I bumped them up by £500 a week on my contract and reduced the percentage of compensation to move to a different club from 90% to 80%. I probably could have driven a harder bargain, in fairness. We have arrived. We have arrived in Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia. So here is all the introductory stuff. So Mario, I'm going to go with China, or Tsina, depending on whether there's a little swoop over the sea. I would like to extend the warmest congratulations on behalf of everyone at the club and welcome you to Slovan Bratislava. We'll discuss the club's vision and objectives shortly, but first and foremost, please take some time to read the club's welcome pack. once again, congratulations. I'm sure you will lead us to great things. Um, me too. So, media predictions second. Fifth rivals are Trnava, which makes sense because Trnava is a town which is not too far from Bratislava in the west of Slovakia. Um, so finished second last year. Europa Conference enters at league path. Second qualifying rounds. Okay. Okay, well, we'll find out. So 22,500 capacity stadium that was built about 10 years ago in the save. Great training facilities, great youth facilities, excellent youth recruitment, amazing. We've got transfer budget, we've got wage budget, good stuff. So they play a similar formation, well, unless that's me just my tactics having come in. Fairly determined squad personality. Okay, things are changing all the time. Okay, we've got some transfer obligations, we've got some loan obligations. Fine. Adjustments in the next few days. Fine. Okay. Get better of our rivals. Dunajska Streda. Finish above Žilina in the league. Finish above Trnava. So those are our rivals. Okay, fine. Qualify for the UEFA Europa League. Okay. All good. Range meeting with backroom staff. Fine. Okay. So contract scouts. Ongoing transfer negotiations to be reviewed. Okay, who are you? Oh, he's one of our scouts. Well, he seems to be in demand. Bayern Munich want him. Okay. Alright, thanks for telling me. Creating a tactic. Okay, I'm just gonna arbitrarily put something in. So they like. Okay, so they set off a wing play. Let's go with that. That is absolutely fine. Oh yeah, I don't do that, do I? So create a new tactic. We'll go wing play and formation and 4-dimensional formations. 4-2-4. Yeah, that'll do. And we'll do something a bit more expansive. Route 1, ugh. We'll go for one of those. Vertical tiki-taka. Wait patiently for options. Yeah. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, we'll just do that. Okay, fine, no problem. Right, let's have a look and see what we're dealing with here because I didn't really anticipate having to do this. So, club info. So our captain is Guillaume Hubert, who is a 35-year-old Belgian goalkeeper. Okay, interesting. So he looks. He's a French player. Right, he's a good first division player, unlikely to improve. Fabian Morozek is a Polish, 25-year-old Polish. He's not an international. He is a leading first division. Okay, so we have a bit of a changing of the guard here. So let's just put him in like that. What kind of tactic are we running here? Okay, well let's just do that for now. So Shimon Mitsuda or Mitsuda. Okay. So we have. He's either fitted. Okay, so we have two right backs and a guy who's either fitted. We have one left. Okay, yeah, two left backs plus this guy who's very much utility, but he is 32, and he is seen as an emergency backup, so we're not going to rely on him. I seem to have a fair few centre backs, so I'm probably just going to go through these. Lots of defensive midfielders who can also play in the centre. Okay, probably better to look at the squad planner, isn't it? So up front appears to be a bit of a problem. We have you. Decent pace, decent finishing, not great composure, Kosovan international, decent first division player. You have better stars, better composure, better pace. Okay, so we're like you. You are a good first division player. Okay, right. I'm in uncharted territory now because I'm recording and I'm not quite sure what we are necessarily going to do with the remainder of this episode, but or indeed if we should just kind of cut it and I will come back once I've got my head around the squad and tactical directions, and I think that will probably be a good idea. You're coming in. You are a right back who has a reasonable left foot. Okay. Scout report. Oh, of course. Oh. Right, you're an outgoing. So 34 years. You're leaving on a free. Where you going? Coruña. First division B. Okay. Right, that's fine. You probably want to go. Yeah, okay, so right, where are we? Okay, so we do have wage budget. We have a healthy scouting budget. How does our staff look? Yeah, okay, so we've got a really good coaching team. We're second behind Deniska Strada for data analysis, and we are second behind Jelena for sports science, but other than that we are pretty much tippity top for absolutely everything, although fitness we are third. We do have a bit of wiggle room, so we might be able to get a fitness coach in just to. Do we have one? We have two goalkeeping coaches. We do have a fitness coach. We might be able to get another in. Yeah, okay, so there is work to do here. So yeah, I'm going to come back in another episode just with a bit of an update of how we're getting on. And as the pre-season progresses, we will also be keeping an eye on a concerned eye on YSCC Yokohama, because I really hope it doesn't do what normally happens in FM, which is the player leaves, the player, as in the manager, leaves, and the computer does a really, really poor job. So there we are. Yep, this episode has been rolling on for half an hour, so I think it is time to put in the cut. But thanks very much for watching. Please, by all means, let me know what you think to my decision in the comments, and any if you know like what I'm doing with this season, with this series. Sorry, do give a like and consider a subscribe. All right, thanks very much, folks. Take care.